everybody. I'm RG Long, and I'm really glad you're here because today I want to share my top 5 ways to get your kids to read. Right, so I'm unashamedly a very proud dad of 3 beautiful daughters, and you know what? They love to read. I'll often find them all reading a book at some point, whether it be outside when the weather's nice or in their bedroom, just on their beds, and it's really fantastic. Now, my oldest daughter loves to read a ton. She is the bookworm, right? And will just read and read and read really long series for a really long time. And that would be her happy place, would just be to read forever. The other 2 just enjoy reading for fun. And so this is a list. If you're having a hard time getting your kid to read, these are some ideas, tips, and suggestions, things that we did in order to get our kids loving reading, and maybe something that you might do as well. So here we go, my top 5 ways of getting your kids to love to read. The first one is to read to them and with them. Hang out, physically open the book together and read to them. We did this every single night with our girls and still do. We have them each choose a book in turn, and we just read a little bit from that book if it's a longer book, or the whole thing if it's a kid appropriate book. But it's kind of a sweet, special way to end the day as a family, just reading together. So one way to get your kids loving reading is to read to them a lot every single day, and that's what we do. Another way that we get them to love reading is to let them choose the books that they want to read. Now, when COVID restrictions lift completely and we get to go back to the library, I know my kids are really looking forward to actually going to the library and picking a book out of the shelves themselves. That's something we've actually really, really missed. Now, we can go and we can peruse online for a book and go and pick it up from the library if we want to, but it's not the same as actually walking the aisles of the library and finding out some new book. If you can't choose the library, we also go to the secondhand bookstores and let them kind of walk through and choose a book that they can get from there. We're not opposed to buying a first-hand book. That's fine, but unless it's a local bookstore or the prices are a lot. So if you're struggling with letting a kid enjoy reading, maybe just let them choose a book, and let them choose any book, maybe even a comic book or something like that, because reading is reading when you get down to it. It's words, and let them learn to love a different type of book later on. Also, it's okay to let your kid read a book that it's a tie-in with one of their favorite movies or their TV shows, like My Little Pony or something like that. If your kid's really into that, then do it. Maybe that could be the thing that gets them loving reading. Or if your kid loves Pokemon, then give them a Pokemon book to read. Because also what's really neat is sometimes those tie-in show books have books that are like it, similar to it, and so the book is from the tie-in show, but then you can get them into a different series or different kinds of book, kind of in the same style, but doesn't have a TV show connected to it. But don't be ashamed of having them read books connected to TV shows or movies. That's fine. They're still reading books. And if all else fails, this one is something that we do a lot with my kids, is let them enjoy audiobooks. Audiobooks are fine because it's not looking at a screen all the time, and it's not interacting with a phone or anything like that. We actually just will sometimes sit around a table, play Legos or Play-Doh or whatever, and have an audiobook going. And what's great about an audiobook is it also can be a shared experience between the parent and your kids. It gives you a chance to say, oh, that was really cool. Did you hear what happened in that? What do you think about this? And just asking them those questions and interacting with them while you're listening to the audiobook is another great way to possibly get a kid interested in reading, because you'll be able to say, hey, that audiobook that we listened to, do you want to read the next one? Because the library doesn't have the audiobook. Again, check your local libraries, they're fantastic. Or use an audiobook as a gateway, and let them say, hey, you can listen to book 1 in audio, but book 2 I really want you to read as a book form, in physical form. And then celebrate the wins. Do whatever it takes to let your kid know that you're really proud that they're reading a lot and that you enjoy that. Verbalize that to them. Tell them, hey, it's really nice to see you reading that book. Or, hey, you finished that book. Let's go get pizza and talk about it, right? I want you to tell me about your book. Now, if your kids are like mine, they will talk about their book. And talk about the book, and talk and talk and talk about the book. There are moments when I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't understand the plot points because being an author, you explaining it back to me, it doesn't make any sense. But honestly, I don't care. I would much rather celebrate the win of them enjoying reading and enjoying their books. It's something that's really cool, and it's really neat to see how my kids love to read, and I hope that these 5 tips will also help your kids love to read as well. Those are just my 5 tips on how I've gotten our kids to enjoy reading books. If you've got a tip that you'd like to share, would love to hear it. Please put it down below in the comments. Maybe I can do a follow-up video on common suggested ways that people have gotten their kids to love reading. And as always, if you're enjoying this channel and the content, hit the subscribe orb. Would love for you to stick around and be a part of Acceptably Epic. We got new content every weekday, and I hope to see you around. Enjoy the journey.